Hi, welcome to the Stockinit Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And it is May 15th.
Yes.
Property taxes were due today, I believe I remember. And this is episode 29. I'm going to say for the first time.
Yeah.
We were both commenting. 29 for the first time. That seemed like folks, when they turned 30, said they were turning 29 plus 1.
Yeah.
Although I am now 20 hexadecimal, which is very fun.
Not so much.
You don't like my little geeky joke? That I'm 20,
no.
I turned 20
Let's
in
see.
hexadecimal. What are you above 32?
3.
Till you're 23.
I'm 23. Or 35 if you don't want to do the math.
Yeah, yep. Hexadecimal. Yeah. Let's just leave it at that. We both went to Shepherd's Harvest this past weekend.
Yes, it was my first official Fiber Fest.
Yeah.
Yours too?
Likewise.
Yeah.
I kind of not avoided it in the past, but I had chosen to go to Yarnover rather than go to it. Because I was like, well, I don't spin. I'm not a spinner, right? But, oh my lord, it was so fun. It was just like jam-packed full of fibery goodness.
Yeah, and I think it seems like it's a little bit bigger deal. I mean, Yarnover was a lot, but it wasn't 4 buildings worth of a lot.
Yeah,
you know?
Yep, the market was bigger, and then there was more activity. I mean,
Yes,
in listening to other folks talk about, like, the Maryland Sheep and Wool, this kind of seems like maybe a smaller scale Maryland Sheep and Wool. There was
or a less stressful Maryland Sheep and Wool.
Yeah, there was shearing, and there was sheepdog demonstrations, and there was alpacas that were sniffing my daughter's head. You know, I mean, it was what did the Aunt Jennifer say? She's like, it's a very state fair vibe, but without the crowds and the stress and the I don't know, I think it will be a Mother's Day tradition from here on out, I think, to do it, because I really liked it.
Yes, and my travel buddy Sarah had said that she had been a couple years in a row, and then she skipped last year. And that's why she was like, she really wanted to go this year, but she just didn't, plan or didn't have anybody. So as soon as I said, I need a travel buddy, she's like, right on it. She's like, yes, I'm going again, because she knew what it was like and how much fun it would be. So.
Meanwhile, I'm really glad that I took my kids, because my daughter thanked me like no less than like 5 times. Like seriously. Like even as we were leaving, normally they throw the fits about having to leave. And she was like, Mom, thanks so much. This is so awesome. So either I impressed upon her too hard that this was quite the treat, or she really enjoyed it. So my baby son probably could have done without it, but my middle son enjoyed it. We brought sunscreen but didn't put it on, so you don't get any extra credit points for that. The kids were a little red in the face at the end, because we spent a lot of time outside. It was like the family version of tailgating. Like we had like a picnic lunch, and then we got the soccer ball out of the back and we were kicking it around. It was kind of funny. It was kind of reminded me of when we went to college football games and tailgated, but this time it was with our family. So
I never did tailgating. The one time I did tailgating, I was with somebody, let's see, she was in Girls of the Big Ten Playboy. Nice girl, but not how I knew her.
Yeah.
And so when we went tailgating, we were invited to all sorts of like fancy schmancy, and anybody could have walked up to these ones, but I would have been totally intimidated if I didn't have her with me.
Yeah.
It was the kind where they had the full bar, the giant TVs, they had taken up like 10 or 12 parking spots, it was like tailgating with electricity,
Yeah.
It was serious. And catering, I think. I mean,
yeah.
it was serious tailgating. But yeah, so my one and only experience with tailgating was kind of schmancy.
Yeah. My husband was a big tailgater back in the day. But I'm glad he kind of drugged me along, and now in hindsight I look back and we are Iowa State Cyclone fans, and he drugged me along, and I got to see a lot more of my sister before she passed away than I would have if I hadn't gone to him, because we were down there like every other weekend. And
yeah, after you were alumni, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. But she was going to school currently at the time, and
no, completely. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I would have. I don't know. It's like every time I go back to my alma mater, I don't know. I go to the bookstore and I grab some T-shirts and I head home. Don't know anybody there anymore.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Raylan, I believe she's just Raylan1, contacted me and said she was from Charles City and wanted to know if I'd ever been there, or, because she said we were Iowa girls, and I was like, yep, I've been to Chucktown on Ragbri, so have you ever been to Charles City?
Driven past it.
Yep. I bet lots of people have done that.
I was born in Waterloo, and to get from Waterloo to I-35 is now a very nice road that goes zippy-poo right past everything. But it used to be a lot slower drive. But I don't think you go through Charles City when you do that, but you see the exit.
Yeah, whenever we stay in Charles City for Ragbri, and I think I've stayed twice, and I've only been on like 5 or 6 Ragbris, but that's the day that you cross 35. So I know it's pretty close to 35. Not overly close, but anyway, hi Raylan. Nice to meet ya.
Yep.
Nice to meet ya. And that's the chitty chat for today. Do you want to do the drawing at the end or the beginning? Or
we can do it at the beginning, but I had one more chitty chat.
Go.
I was reading books to my kids tonight, and I realized that 3 out of the 4 books I read were from the Dolly Parton Imagination Library.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do another PSA for that awesome program. If you have not enrolled your preschool children into the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and I believe it's through your county United Way, is how you register. Now, if your county United Way hasn't signed up for it because of funding, I'm not sure how you get to it, but I'm sure you Google, Dolly Parton Imagination Library. They send you a book each month
till your kid is
from birth until your kid is 5 or school age. And then, so like the very first book you get is Dolly Parton's personal favorite, The Little Engine That Could. And then the very last book you get is about kindergarten. And just how many of the books that we pull out of our library have that sticker on the back, and I'm just like, that was an amazing thing to sign up for.
Yeah, well, and I had it's funny that you mentioned it, that my daughter was involved in it as well, and she, to this day, even though she's not getting them every month, pulls them out and goes, we have this in my classroom in kindergarten. So they they've integrated into, and now she's reading them to us because, she's reading them at school, and she's seen them growing up, and it's just, it's a really great program. I agree.
Yeah. And I guess the philosophy behind it is that even though you have a public library and you can go check books out for free, not everybody wants to go to the library, and then you also don't have a sense of ownership over the books that you do get from the library. So it brings them directly to your door through the mail, to your door each month, so there are no excuses. So even anybody who's like, I can't make it to the library, I'm just too stressed, things are not, you get it in the mail after work or whatever, you open it up and you read it to your kid that night. I mean, it's really great. And I was a little saddened because, I realized between kid 1 and kid 2, they went to more paperbacks because they started out being hardback books. And now they're pretty much all the fancy soft cover.
Which is fine. I mean, that's you're still getting the reading content and the...
Yeah, this is true. And it is high quality paperback.
And the books I don't know that we would have picked out at if we had gone to the library. So
the one we just read tonight was Rooster Can't Cock-a-Doodle Doo.
We didn't get that one.
It's really cute. He's got a sore throat. Can't cock-a-doodle doo.
Did your youngest get it or did your oldest?
Oldest. So Justin got it.
Huh. Because he would have been the same time frame.
Yeah, I know that different kids are on different book rotations.
Yeah, and I think that they do a little bit of gender stuff as well. Because I know that my daughter got Sisters Are blah blah blah.
Yes.
Like girl.
Yes, and Justin got Brothers Are, so we have both.
Yep.
You will get both if you haven't already.
Yep.
And that was my last little tidbit. I just thought, like, this is such an amazing thing. I cannot not talk about it. I mean, if you haven't heard about it, I heard about it because I was volunteering through an organization, and I don't think that I've heard about it outside of that. So I don't know how I would have gotten registered for it otherwise.
Well, when we went through the prenatal classes, or when we were in the actual hospital, I think they had a little brochure, but they shower you with brochures.
Yes, this is one of like 100.
Yeah.
That you get.
If you weren't looking for it, you might not see it, especially since you've got a brand new kid and you're not really like reading up on every single offering. But all right, put down knitting, pick up computer.
And it feels like I've mentioned it before, but just had to mention it again.
All right, so as part of our 2-ball KAL, NetNet 84 is giving away a Stripe Study shawl pattern. So, let's get it flipped. But here's the photo. I guess it was kind of off the screen. And I locked it promptly at 8 o'clock, so sorry if I locked anybody out. And there were 89 voices, 24 images. I really appreciated the images of the colors because somebody had some cakewalk yarns in there and some Tanis Fiber Arts, which you could use for the Tanis Fiber Arts. Arts is having a knit along if you use two of their colors.
Oh.
2 yarns of their colors. So it's kind of matchy with all kinds of double dipping to be had. Camp Loopy, I think you have to do something with 2 balls right now.
Well, 800 yards.
Yeah.
If you can find that in 2 balls.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be too hard. Anyway, and a lot of Madeline Tosh out there. I would definitely pick Madeline Tosh color because I would do it for Madeline Tosh May. So, I think I downloaded a new random number generator.
Great and huge.
It's ginormous. So I already hit generate, but this isn't the number, so I'll show it to you after we hit generate. 2 through 89, generate, and the number is 46. So if you can't see that, I can't get a bigger random number generator, sorry.
So hopefully there isn't like a lot of glare on the screen, but otherwise it's very readable.
Yes, 46, that would be
page 2.
25. 46. Why are you zooming? Go. 46 is Sabrab.
Sabrab.
She would do a purple and gray or white and black. White and black would be very zebra-ish. Sabrina. So it's Sabrab. Anyway, she's from Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
And I think we'll probably give you like a week to contact us or NetNet84 to have her send. I mean, she could just send it to you, but I think it's fun to have like this past week when the Knit Girls just read numbers.
That was like awful.
I know. I was like, what? Yeah. So I know that they had like a bazillion things to give away, and that was fun.
And they had a lot of news, and they were an hour and a half already. And
but it was like I have to go out and pause it on the screen when she held up all the numbers, and yes, it made me work for it.
I did not. Did I win? Because I didn't bother to go look.
I didn't look for you. I'm not gonna.
Well, I'm assuming you were looking at the numbers. Oh, you just knew your own number.
Yeah, I searched for posted by and then looked and saw. I didn't look up every single number to see who they were. That would have been nice of me, I guess, but why do that? So, yes, congratulations, Sabrina. And what a great way, thank you, Annette, to kick off our 2-ball knit-along, going all the way through the end of May.
You know what, and I'm not even sure if I registered for the Knit Girls something or other, whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't know that I found myself in that forum, because I think I went out and looked. I can't remember now. I didn't win or I didn't enter. You got to enter to win. But,
yeah. But yeah, that, yeah. I had a hard time after the Knit Girls, and I won't spoil anything if you're not there, but it just made me think about us, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
Great.
I told them I cried and that I wanted to give them both hugs. But that's neither here nor there.
I said I was going to miss my friend Jamie. We have good friends that are moving to Seattle very soon. We're sad. We're going to see them for part of the summer. So, but going to be leaving. Yeah. Finished objects, right?
Yeah.
God, my nose is itching. Probably all that fiber. I have a hoe. This is the Georgia on My Mind Leslie Thompson sock. And very cool.
Yes.
How that turned out. I took lots of great finished object pictures for her on my hoe. But, and they're out on my Flickr. But I haven't got a Ravelry project page for it yet. Okay, now I'm done petting it or whatever, yeah.
Flippity bitten.
Yeah, so I like that. It's a hoe. Awesome. And then I'm wearing one. This was, what did we decide the pronunciation of this one? Chiton. So this is my chiton. I like the way it turned out. I wore it to work today.
The neckline is interesting.
Well, yeah, I can do it however. It just rolls. So sometimes it falls like that. Sometimes I pull
it's
it
the
like
picture.
this.
Do they have it like folded over like this, or is that like somebody's that I saw?
There's nothing specific in the pattern that says to do anything, or I don't remember how it looks in interweave either, or knit scene. But I like this one where I do this with the rounding.
Yep. That's probably how I would do it. If it were me.
And that's
those your hose?
That's all I can show you. Yep, I have a swap partner FO, but I'm not going to show that.
All that's fit to show.
And silly me, I signed up for the loopy swap.
I did too.
I'm like,
it just escaped you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't have to organize it, right?
Yeah.
I just have to get together a package. But I'm rolling my eyes because it ships while I'm at SSK. Like, that's the ship by date.
So you
and I'm like, I want to buy them something at SSK. I mean, I want it to be a little bit special, right? So I'm like, well, they'll understand.
To everybody out there in the loopy spots, like, I hope he gets me.
But, there's going to be all sorts of great, hard to find dyers and hard, it's going to be fun. So I don't want to, I don't know. So I'm putting off shopping for them until SSK. I will pick out and buy yarn from Loopy for the project and get that knitted and whatever, ready to go. But the actual shopping for the extras and the goodies will be done at SSK. And speaking of goodies, I have a ton. So after we get through whips, enabling is going to be interesting.
Okay, well, you can make up for my lack thereof. I'm also wearing my FO. So this is the Folded by Vera Valaminki. And mark it on the calendar so you can throw it back in my face, but I do not plan on knitting any more bottom-up pullovers for a while. 'Cause it's just, I mean, it's sizably large down here, which is fine, but then I started out with way too many stitches, and then I may have decreased it. It's a little bit more fitted through the bust than I would have liked. I would have liked these darts to actually have some gathering to them. And they do, but not as much as the style. So I decreased too much because it was too big down here, and did some garter ridge here, kind of freestyled the neck, because you do these with short rows. And did that in garter so it kind of matched the front. So I did a little bit of that, and then my provisional cast on for the arms worked out really well. Have less than a couple of grams left of the yarn, and I was very tempted to not alternate skeins on the arms, but I was like, one of them was clearly lighter than the other, and it would bother me, even though you don't see your arms very closely together. What else did I have to say about this? This color is really hard to photograph.
Oh.
Like, so the one on my table out on Ravelry looks about the closest to the color, and I don't know what the color is going to look like on there, but like the one where I'm actually wearing it to prove that it's like an adult size garment, and you know, I can wear it and whatever, is horrible. And I just, I had my husband take all kinds of them, and no, they were in here.
Okay.
But
outside sometimes that's the
word, Yep.
Out in the natural sunlight, that's where you get the best.
Yep.
And even better is like a little bit overcast.
Yep. So that is my FO. Yes, I've got the sweater General KAL for Madeline Tosh. One down, another one to go here.
Cool. I'm thinking like I might need to make that out of my 3 balls of sock yarn I've acquired recently. I have 3 different 3-ball sock yarn things that I've gathered, and I'm like, oh, that worked really good.
Yeah,
I might only need 2 of them. Especially with shorter sleeves.
Yes, but I think the pattern shows them like down to here, so I definitely would have needed a 3rd ball at that point.
Okay.
So, but yep, I was knitting on this. This is kind of a funny story. And we didn't hit the button, so we have no idea how long we're jibber-jabbering on. But, when you're 29 for the first time, it's important. So I'm sitting there knitting, and I was almost finished with the sleeves. And Ellie's got a kid in her class that had a birthday party at the Jumper place, the Jolly Jumps place here in town. And I'm sitting there, and one of her classmates' dad is a researcher at Mayo, and they're from New Zealand. And she came up to me and she's like, "Why are you knitting on woolies? It's warm out. It's warm out." And I was like, because I'll wear it when it's not warm out. "Why does it take you so long to knit woolies?" And I was just like, just to say, the New Zealand accent out of this. Yeah, woolies. And the mom's like, "Oh yeah, she doesn't ever see me crafting." And I'm like, that's not what I was saying. She just had a lot of questions, like my kids have grown up watching me knit, so it's like second nature. They don't ask me whether or not the needles are sharp or why I'm knitting on woolies when it's warm out. But it was funny. Anyway, there's a story. There's a story behind everything. That's in my world. I have lots of stories about Shepherd's Harvest, but we won't go there.
Okay. She'll tell them to me after the camera stops.
I guess. Yes.
I am working on my... Oh, you want to do whip?
I can. I'm available. Actually, let me get to the end of my row, because it's not...
All right. I got a start of a sock for the second sock. Need to get these done, I think, by the end of the month for SSK points. I don't know what I'm going to win, but I hope to win big. Because I did all the challenges. Although I didn't spin the yarn, and not all of my challenges are out of Indie Dyer yarn. So, I'm losing out in that regard. And then this is my progress on my back to school vest. So now I'm at the point where I need to measure and then...
make darts for the boobs?
Well, the darts for the boobs are done. It's like there's a certain depth between here and here, but they count from here, and from here on, I lengthened. So the measurement from...
So you have to do some math.
I have to do math. Just easy subtraction, but I just haven't bothered to do it. So somewhere from here on is so many inches, and I gotta figure that out so that I can say, woohoo, I'm done and ready to split front and back, and it's a deep scoop, so this front is almost done. So I'm excited.
It's very pretty. That dream in color is ending up very nice.
And I only overlapped again for like, this much, so it's a good transition. I don't think that there was much difference in the balls. Maybe a little bit.
If it was going to, it would though, right through the breast.
Yeah. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Right under the breast.
Yep.
And that's it for whips. I'm probably going to end up starting another monster for my swap.
Cool.
But haven't started that yet. And you can't watch it, so I'm sorry.
Just gonna give another shout out to Lois.
Oh yes.
We're both knitting out of our knitting.
I don't think I've used any other bags since we got them.
I haven't either. Just one project comes out and another one goes in. So I am doing a color affection for the Mad May. And these are my 3 colors in TML. And oh my god, if you have not knit with Tosh Merino Light, just buy a skein. It's relatively cheap. 400 yards is like 18. If you get it through Mr. Yarn and you get something else, it's like ends up being 14. I just love it. I love the drape. I love the feel. I love every single thing about Tosh Merino Light. It's a single ply, and you'd think with a single ply you'd get some pilling, but I have a wispy out of Tosh Merino Light in the jade colorway. It has not pilled. It has worn very well. There was one spot where there was a weak point in it. It had gotten too thin because it is single ply. So there can be some weakness in the one strand and it will break, and I had to kind of fix it. But my main color is the Dahlia. I was kind of a geek. I don't have it with me, but like, because it goes main color, contrast color 1, contrast color 2, and so these two end up alternating with each other, and then they're all 3 when in the 3 stripe section, and then this is the border. Well, with 3 different colors, you have 6 different combinations, right? Because they're mutually exclusive. So you'd have 3 in the first spot, 2 in the second spot, and 1 in the last spot. And you add them all together, you have 6 different combinations. And I got little crayons out and I did all of them. I'm like, no, I don't like yellow. The yellow is the main color. I think I kind of wanted it to get darker towards the bottom. So the clematis.
Okay, I can see now. It looks almost black in person too.
Yep, it's very similar. Black and purple. This is maple leaf, and so it kind of alternates between some yellowy greens and there's orange bits every once in a while. And then the pink is Dahlia. So those are my colors, and I was really happy with them. And here it is. I think it's going to end up being, I'm doing the lace version, even though this is fingering because I didn't want it to be as big. Like it looks like an Afghan on some of the ladies, and I don't even like normal size shawls. I like small ones. So as you can see, it's going to be really large. I didn't follow the mods. I'm again showing you guys the wrong side. I didn't follow the mods. A lot of people did an extra yarn over on the edge, and then when you came back around, dropped it to make the edge super stretchy. But I think I'm doing a good job of kind of like pre-stretching it when I do the turn, so that I don't have it too stretchy. And then I had a little bit of difficulty on this edge with the twisting of the yarn. I didn't like the way it was looking, but I'm kind of happy with it now. On the 3 yarn section here, it's still it's a little messy for my taste, but I'm just gonna clean that up too before. But I'm to the 3 color section, so I'm in short rows. Things are going fast right now, but once I get back over to this other side, work my way over here very slowly, and then you just knit garter stitch in the 1 color. So it shall be. I don't know. I really like it. I like the way the 3 colors look. I saw a mod out there, and I think I might do it with 2 of my skeins. That I don't think will make a good daybreak, because you know, you kind of mentally go, oh, I'm a garment knitter and I've got all these one skeins, but those 2 colors look really pretty together. Somebody did a color affection with 2 colors. So, and I thought it looked really nice. So you could do that. I don't know. I like the V's of the one we just gave away. I can't think of the
Stripe
name.
Study?
Stripe Study. But I'm not a big triangular shawl person. Like, so I designed that hexagon one because I don't like triangles all that much. And so I like the shape of this, but I would also like it in 2 colors as well. So that's my jibber jabber. And now you can just basically talk for the rest of the show because I have no more.
Clear my throat. Okay. So, I talked about my whips.
You did, and now you can talk about
all of your acquisitions and enabling, I guess, kind of. So my top is made out of Misty Alpaca Pima Cotton Silk. So it's 83% cotton, 17% silk. And I bought 2 more colors of it. So I have a blue and a purple. And I bought smaller amounts. So this is going to be a cropped cardigan, short sleeve cropped cardigan. And then this one's going to be like a longer tunic for my daughter. And then I took a chance on some linen. So this is Shwibui in the Cypress colorway. It looks really dark, but it's a green. Cypress is the colorway.
And it's kind of got a chainy texture.
Yeah, it's one of those chain. I have a different finished object with something very similar, but in a DK weight. This is a fingering weight. So this is probably going to be like a very loosely knit tank or something. I've seen a couple of them by this one designer, but she charges like $9 a pattern. I hate that. I hate it. I don't care how famous you are. One pattern is $9. I might have to.
And that would be the pattern that, like, yeah, I don't know. It seems like the ones that are really hard to get sometimes are like. Don't get me wrong, I love my olive and I love my coral, and you know, they were pricey to get and hard to find and whatever, but like they were horribly written, like very like drops, you know, like where you kind of have to do some deciphering. And
but drops are like free, so
yeah,
it makes up for it.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah. But when you're paying $9 for a hard to find pattern,
and I'm not saying that they are, and I'm not saying that the Isiger, there maybe that is just a cultural thing. Like maybe English written patterns are way too detailed for, you know, those folks. I don't even know where she's out of. Where's Isiger out of? Do you know? Okay. Or maybe it's the translation. Maybe it's not normally written in English and somebody translated it and made it very succinct and hard to understand. Anyway, sorry. I said I was going to quit talking.
I would like to make it look kind of like a cover-up, but I don't wear cover-ups, so something in between. Like not as loose as a cover-up, but not
what yardage did you get?
I have 3 of them, so yardage about 750. Almost. Not quite. So it should be enough that I can do a tight enough gauge to get a tank out of it. I'm just a little nervous working with really fine linen. We'll see.
It won't have much to give. So
no.
You'll want it to have the negative ease or some positive ease. That's what I was looking for.
Yep. Not going to stretch. Yep. Got it. Then that was just an order that I had because I wanted summer yarns. Ooh, summer yarns. But now on to the acquisitions from Shepherd's Harvest. So I got these little sheep. They're so cute. You get one. Woohoo! I gave one to Christy and one to Sarah, my little companions at the festival. And I'm probably going to put them on my desk at work and look at them.
And they were from
Just a booth there, but the people that sell it, it says it's Blossom Bucket Incorporated from North Lawrence, Ohio.
Okay.
They're the ones who made the sheep.
And it was like a set, or did you buy them?
No, it's a set of 4 for $4.
So
$1 a piece. And then I got these buttons, and I believe it was JL Handcrafts, and if I got that wrong, I'm sorry. We will link properly in the show notes. And I will be ordering something else because they gave me a please come back coupon. So here's my magnets.
There we go.
Magnets.
They look like buttons.
But yeah, they're like, tufting buttons. That's what they're made out of. And so yeah, sheep and a sock monkey and another sock monkey, and then this is the best one. Little socks on a line. And I know that like Jessalou has a bag with this fabric, and I don't need another bag, but I love that fabric, so I got some.
Awesome.
And that was that. Again, I will link, I believe it was JL Handcrafts. She had a lot of wooden things, like wooden wraps per inch tools and gauge, I don't know, needle, sizing tools. Brain
needle gauge.
Needle gauge, okay. And then Cloud Lover had a booth.
Yes.
At our little fiber festival. So I got 2 very zombie colorways of Decay. And this one is a Superwash BFL. Sorry, I'm holding 2 up. This is Decay. Like rotting flesh, decaying flesh. So this is Decay.
Not DK as in the weight. Decay.
Decay. Yeah, I'll flip the tag over. Decay. Okay. And then this one, can you guess the name of this one? It's a zombie colorway.
Something to do with flesh.
No, more basic. Back to.
I know the answer, so you can. Because you told me already.
Oh, I did. Okay. It's called Brain.
It kind of looks like brain.
And it says explanation please. So we're very enthusiastic about brains.
I too went to the Cloud Lover.
Yeah.
And I got me some yarn. So mine is Nothing Gold. I don't know what I came home with some. And this is BFL and Silk. My love affair continues with BFL. I don't know if she had a great deal of yarn at the beginning of the festival, or if she primarily does the fibers, but this was the only one in this base, and I was very lucky because this is a beautiful color. And she and her husband were very nice. I got to talk to them. I'm trying to be less materialistic when I go to these. Nothing against people that actually go and like buy all kinds of things, but I try to make it about.
Guilty.
I try to make it about the people. So like we met a sheep shearer that had been everywhere, and like my daughter like still probably would see him on the street and walk up to him and chat his ear off because he was just the most friendliest guy. And I talked to the husband-wife team for Cloud Lover for a little bit as well. The guy was like, you can tell he'd been around females buying yarn enough, because I was like, I don't know why I keep doing this. I'm buying this and it's wonderful and whatever, but I'm a garment knitter and I won't be able to knit a garment out of this. He's like, you can knit some socks, you can knit some shawls. And I was like,
he knew.
Yeah.
This is what you can do.
He wasn't sitting there knitting, but he knew the salesman, the enabling part. He had that down pat. So.
Oh, he pegged us. He said, you guys are serious. And she had a packing up sale, so it was buy 5, get 1 free. So our little group of people ended up with 5.
Awesome.
And got 1 free.
I was going to say, you didn't get 5, but
no.
Together you did.
Yes, together we did. And then this is the only other one that has a story. So that's what we're going to show. I guess there is one. I bought some alpaca from a booth, and as I checked out and I was like, this is wonderful, Christina Nith had her hand in a fleece of alpaca. We ended up talking her into that fleece.
Yeah.
Like, it needed hardly any work. It was completely clean, more or less. She would just need to get some carders and do it up. It was so nice. You wouldn't even have to work that hard at it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, so now, that alpaca farm doesn't have, my stuff doesn't have like who they are and where they're from. So I can't really say much about them. They were there, they had a booth, they were a very nice older couple. And if I saw them again, I would probably buy from them again. But this one here is C&M Acres. And I'm going to mention this to you. I don't know if you had talked to them or not. They're from Maxwell, Iowa. Mm-hmm. And they have their own alpaca farm. And they just became a functioning mill this year, 2012. So now they mill their own alpacas and other people's. And so if you're a farm and you've been looking for a new mill in the Midwest, Maxwell, Iowa, C&M Acres.
Talked to a guy from LaPorte City. I can't remember his name now. But he used his alpacas as guard alpacas. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For the sheep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I read Hit by a Farm.
Oh. I never heard of it. I was like... Oh. And you could tell, I mean, when there was like a dog in the room or whatever, all of the alpacas in the room were like...
Yeah, they're really good. They keep the wolves at bay.
They're vigilant.
So, now I happened to buy one that didn't have a name associated with it, but a lot of their alpaca that wasn't dyed, that had a natural fiber to it, had the name of the alpaca that it actually came from. And that was really cute to me. But this is what I got from them, and it's... I don't know, I'd almost call that pencil roving. Oh, and I pooped. But this is alpaca. 100% white alpaca. And then they dyed it themselves. And they said that this was the first year at their booth that they had dyed some and brought it. So we'll see how it spins up. Seems very, I don't know. I was taken in by the farm, their people. I could have bought yarn there, probably would have been, but it was a fiber buying trip. I bought fiber for my wheel. I didn't buy any yarn from the Fiber Festival. Not a single skein. It was all about the fiber and supplying my wheel with fiber.
Yeah. What else? There was the gal with the Angora bunny who was actually pulling the fur off as she sat there and was spinning it.
Yeah.
I asked her how often she does that, and she said only at these festivals because people seem to like it. But they're so clean. The bunnies are. And then there was quite a few llamas there as well. Mm-hmm. And had several really great conversations with folks about the llamas and the difference between llamas and alpacas. And the highlighted version of those conversations I will share with you is that llamas are a lot more friendly and loving, and they have kind of like shorter noses, and they're like smaller animals. And the alpacas are shorter noses and smaller animals, and that obviously their fiber isn't. The alpaca fiber is a lot more palatable, I guess. Mm-hmm. But they had a lot of llamas there. There was like a whole llama area. So, and a guy that was really in love with him. He was like, you would never do this with an alpaca, and he was like hugging it, and I was like, okay.
Kind of reminds me of the difference between horses and ponies. Because like, oh, what's the difference between a horse and a pony? Well, ponies are smaller, so people think they're good with children, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're temperamental and stubborn, and
Yep.
they're not as gentle as the big gentle giants that
Yep.
horses are. Yeah. So
My son was very disappointed that there were no horses there.
Where's the horses?
Do you saw a horse?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He was like, "Where's the horses, Mom?" I'm like, "I don't think there are any here, sweetie. Sorry."
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember if there was something else I wanted to mention. I got to try a mini spinner. So it's like a little tabletop spinner that you don't treadle. If you're not familiar with it, I'm sure everybody else is. I know I had seen them on the internet, but I'd never seen one in person and in action. And some guy was quill spinning off of the mini spinner. And
What's
that
that?
was
What's quill spinning?
it's like a spike. It looks very dangerous.
Mm.
And it's spinning, and you pull to the side with your fiber, and you hold your fiber just kind of loosely, like in a weird mangled claw, but you can't pinch or you can't grab, because then it does bad things.
Okay.
And so he was doing that, and he was amazing at it, and he was just making it go over and over again. He stopped me in the crowd because I was like endlessly fascinated with it, and he didn't throw the fiber at me, but he put it in my hand and walked away. I'm like, ah! So it's going, right? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. We need to stop. And yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. But then the lady, after everybody got lots of entertainment out of me freaking out about it, the other lady who was doing normal spinning on the other demo wheel let me spin on one. And it was very interesting. She kind of, they said that it was a better beginner wheel because you take all of the treadling aspects out of it. You don't have to get good at coordinating to get the wheel to spin. And everything's done on a dial, so you can dial your tension and dial your speed. And I thought that was interesting. I mean, it didn't feel unnatural, It felt fine using it. I mean, it was interesting to get, like, I know what I like on my wheel, even though I've only had it for a couple weeks. And it was very hard to find the sweet spot for this other thing. Like, I'm sure just switching to another traditional wheel would have been the same thing. And just like, I can't find the sweet spot, and I'm breaking and getting big, thick globs, and it wasn't working perfectly. But once we dialed it in, she helped me dial it into like my style of spinning. And then it was like, oh yeah, this is nice, You pedal down like a sewing machine, and go. And it's not a speed thing like on a sewing machine. You just on off with the pedal. Push it down to make it on and take it off or off. I don't know. It was a lot of fun, and I will say, yeah, it was fun enough to go again for sure. And maybe I'll bring the family next time. I won't be by myself. Now that we know all the things we could do.
Yeah, if you lived up there, I would do like what Christy did, which is go one day with the fam and go the next day. Although I think I might have flipped it. I might have done the shopping on the first day, because there did seem to be some
picked over booths.
Yeah. Although All for Love of Yarn still had quite a bit. And she had a little like tasting area where you could.
That was cute.
Yeah, where you could knit on her yarns. Ellie, my daughter, picked up one set of double point needles and was like, "How many stitches is this supposed to have?" She asked Angela. And I don't know. I just cast on some, and people could have done some stuff and not had it. There could be there's a drop stitch. But it was cool to be able to feel them knit up, and like which ones had drape and which ones had.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was really cute, and they were actually in little bowls too.
Yeah. Yep. It looked kind of like yarn food.
Yep, yarn food for sure. But
do you have anything that's coming up next? Like as far as what you're gonna knit and.
No, not really. I mean, Yeah, I want to finish these socks for sure. I want to finish that sweater for sure. So that's probably going to get me through to next week.
Yeah.
And that other, swap partner thing and spinning, like I have 2 ounces of singles done, and I am working on the second 2 ounces of singles. So again, content that's not going to be shared on the, if people start asking me for it, I'll probably post pictures under the Ravelry thread that goes with this episode. Like, oh, this is what I did this week, kind of thing. But I don't know how much I can add to spinning at this point, other than I'm learning. I know that there's plenty of other people who've shown their learning progress on podcasts. So,
yeah, I mean, to me, and because I'm a knitter and not a spinner, it's very interesting to me when I watch podcasts and I'm learning about new patterns or new yarn bases or new whatever. But like the spinning, it's like, okay, well, that came out really pretty, but I'm never going to do that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and I can't make that my own. Like I could if I saw a pattern and went, oh, I'm gonna knit like where Leslie's knitting the Pomme de Pen by Amy Christoffers, and it's like, oh, that looks like it would be a nice cardigan because it wouldn't be so brainless, so to me the spinning content is very unique to them, and it is a finished object for them, but it's nothing that I'm ever going to do, right? So meanwhile, I'm like Froggy Monkey, and I watched a little bit of their episode before I came home, and she was saying that she is like the worst at like, what am I gonna knit next? Like she hems and haws over it, and I think I'm gonna knit the Vesper, which is a free Heidi Kermeyer top, and it's top down. That's a new prerequisite for me. No more bottom ups. So, and if I get this done, which I think that I'm through the fast part, this is the slow part. If I get this done, I might try to get that done in some
Madelinetosh.
Yep. Get a third one in there.
Oh my goodness. I guess it is only the 15th.
And I've got a whole tote full of Madelinetosh, so why not use this to my this knit along to my advantage?
Right.
Get some of my stash down.
I just happen to think that I am going a little long on these.
Uh-oh.
No, okay. Yeah, you don't need to watch me do this. So. That's it for me. I'm gonna be jetting.
Oh, and I've got some custom orders coming too. Executiva messaged me and it didn't get here in time, so it'll be here tomorrow. But you guys can drool over it tomorrow, next week. I will get it tomorrow.
I did want to mention that I had a VKN and I met Lois from Knitting's My Bag.
Cool. When was that?
Friday? No, Sunday.
They seem like they always start when my kids are still awake. So I go out there and I see them and I'm like, the kids are still awake. I can't jump on and be talking to folks and not paying attention to my kids.
Do you understand what I do? I go, click, hello everyone. Kids are going to be going to bed real soon. And then I mute everything, save my spot, and go.
Are there only 10 spots now? Yeah. Or did Google update it so you could do more than 10?
I don't know, but somebody else was talking about doing a big, who was it? Famous. Oh, it was, had nothing to do with knitting. Somebody was talking about doing a Google Hangout where you could ask questions of the creators of some TV show. And I'm like, how can you do a G-chat with that many people? Yeah. So maybe that show will be like a test / launch of the as many as you want. But I think with 10 it just gets too crowded anyway on a VKN. Yeah. Like if you had more than 10, you better have a lot of looky-loos and listeners, because jumping into multiple conversations is really hard. It's not like you're all sitting in a room and you can these two people can talk while these other two people are talking. Unless you're chatting on the chat part, you can't have a conversation while the other two people are talking.
Yeah. I think it would be fun to try to do one with our zombies.
Yeah.
Little zombies, like have one where we're...
A scheduled one, yeah.
Yeah, a scheduled one where we're out there and it's not just like we randomly meander into somebody else's plurt.
Yeah.
posted
No,
VKN. So
that's a good idea.
let's put a pin in that.
Yeah. Save that one for later. But yes, I got to meet Lois.
Cool.
Virtually. You know, got to see her.
Jealous.
Yes, it was fun. So, anyway, talk to you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Oofta.
Bye, Ufta.